check, yeah. Okay. I guess I could have just read in my shirt. Okay, good morning. Saturday morning edition here of doing some painting. We're going to pick up where we left off, which is on this horseman right here. And looks like where we left off is we got to paint this guy's fur hat at some point. I think we'll do that. I'm going to go with a light gray, see how that works out. Painting 2 days in a row. That's unheard of as of late. Now, if I remember correctly, these hats are supposed to be sheepskin. I'm just banking there's a sheepskin that's in this color. And like I said yesterday, I mentioned it probably before as well, this is an army that is almost entirely of mustachioed folks. Damn near everybody. Every figure is cast with a mustache on them, whether you want to or not. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, one thing I mentioned is the figures look so much better after you seal them, because this particular figure, I don't know if you can make it out, but his, actually you can see it right there, his green is very, very shiny. And that's just from different colors, just have different amount of shine in them for whatever reason. OBS, OBS. You know, as I was a little bit more tech savvy, I'd find something else that let's make sure this is running correctly. Yeah, it is. I got plenty of connection. Just saying it disconnected off of OBS. You know, if I was more tech savvy, and I got this display thing on here, waiting for connection. If I was more tech savvy, I'd go through and find something else to use other than OBS, but that's just not where my interest is. You want me to find a good way to get frustrated easily, that would be the way to do it. Start tinkering with programs and stuff like that. When things work one day and then you try them exactly the same way the next day, and because the moon's in a different position, it doesn't work. Yeah, no, it's not saying, it's saying I'm not connected. I've got this display. Well, hopefully I don't have to look at anything on this screen here, on the camera screen, because I've got this big white message on there. Like I said, I'll keep doing these videos until it starts becoming too much of a pain in the ass. Then I won't do them anymore, because I don't mind hanging out together, showing you guys what I've learned, tricks, etc. But I don't wake up early to get tortured by electronic devices. Not my thing. Okay. Hopefully everything's working all right on that end. We have a little bit of pants showing there. And then we have the end of the... Okay. Alright, I need to get this off my screen. So let's see if I can do this. Let me disconnect that. Okay, now let's reconnect that. I guess it's working, but I've never had it work with this warning thing in front of it. Why is it always on Saturdays? It seems like that's always the deal. It's always on a Saturday. Alright, I'm just going to move forward, and if you guys can't see the picture right or whatever, I'm sure one of you guys will let me know. Okay, so a little bit of pants showing there. I can just, it's a tiny little bit, and I'm not really particular to what color it might be, so let's just put something together on here that'll fill that color. We got a scabbard here. I don't remember what color we're using for scabbards, but a light color would probably work in fine in there. Like this would probably be fine. It's a tiny little area, and that'll help pop it from around where the horse is. So even though there's a tiny little area, I still end up doing the layer coloring. It's just habit. It might not even make that much of a difference, but we'll come back and touch up his hair and stuff. This is pretty much the point where I have to stop at until I decide how I'm going to paint his shield and so forth. Alright, that's 3 of these guys semi-done. Alright. There's another figure that's exactly the same pose. Nearly exactly. Well, the pose is the same. Just end up having a different shield on him, which I can't even see in the view there. I still have this waiting for connection symbol. I don't know, I guess it's connected. It looks like it's connected up there. It's on this other view. Yep. So I don't know, I have the one screen that's not moving at all. Alright, let's try doing one thing. Aha. I think that fixed it. Alright, let's try this again. Trying to make a simple video. Take 3. I hate this technology stuff. Works fine one day and then you do it the same way and it doesn't want to work. Yeah, I don't wake up and all of a sudden my paints don't work. Just touch up some of the black stuff that looks like it may have rubbed off between the time that I primed it and now. Well, if I was one of those painting services, this would be time for this guy to give this one a purple shirt. He's always seemed to like throwing in that purple in there somewhere. We're not going to do that. This guy can't afford purple. That's some expensive stuff. But we've got a reddish one, a green, and a blue. Orange, probably not. We're going to do a different color, light blue. We're going to do a light blue on this guy. Oh, I guess we'll do the shirt before the horse color. The order of some of these things doesn't really matter. I can pretty much get to any of the places. So it's not like I have to do something before I do something else. Some people are real particular about that. They got to paint inside out. I think inside out is what many people do. I honestly don't put any thought into that. I just kind of paint and try to figure out what color things are going to be, and that's kind of the order that I do them in. Like, usually what's the most dominant thing? So if most of the figure is one particular clothing or something like that, or one particular color, I go ahead and paint that, because it helps you decide on the fly what color things are going to be. Because I generally don't paint things that are real strict in how they have to be. Mike B, good morning. 2 days in a row painting. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just like old times. Well, I'll be honest with you, I haven't been real excited to paint these guys. And most of it has to do with the fact that I know I'm not going to finish them anytime soon. It's not like, okay, all I got to do is spend 3 more hours and the army's done, right? We'll get there. But it's a long road ahead. That, and you can't really paint when you're out of town. And I can't really paint in the mornings on a work morning. There isn't enough time. By the time you get rolling, it's time to stop. Let's add a little more. Now this guy just kind of has almost like a Viking type shield. Buckler. Aha. What have we here? Ah, my favorite Martian. Putting off Christmas shopping until the last minute. Wouldn't want to do it any other way, would you? What, is Christmas soon? I don't know, it's like 80 something degrees outside. It's not exactly very Christmassy. Every year online seems to be the best way to get things. Don't have to fight people. Don't have to go to a bunch of stores looking for something and come out empty-handed. Don't have to ask somebody at a store and then get a dumb look like, I don't know where that is and I don't care. Just easier just to get it online. And we don't really need anything. I guess that's, fortunately. I don't need anything. I need a way to be able to take some more time off that I already have. That's what I need. I need less work. I need colder weather. Where do you buy that at? Some people for, I don't know, a couple of weeks already been posting snow pictures. So jealous. Of course, I don't have to shovel anything, so. Don't have to have a day off and then, shovel the driveway. Nope, I don't know what that's all about. I think we can go to the core color here, but not go crazy on it. Just put it in some highlights. Not get too carried away, and then cover up all this stuff that I did. You go through all this planning to have some depth of color, and then you cover it up and it doesn't even make a difference. Ever buy Lego? Pricey. It is. Lego's really interesting. I had it as a kid. Not all the cool stuff that they have now. I think the only figures they had when I was a kid was they had the police officers, and then they had the astronauts. But the original astronauts, they had their own Lego Space Agency, or whatever it was. It was like a rocket going around a planet, and it had the trail on the rocket, so it almost looked like it was Saturn or something like that, but it was actually like the trail of the rocket. That's what it was. That's all you had. That's the only figures you had. So you had little helmets you could put on the guys. You put little... I guess the correct term is peaked caps for the police officers. And that's it. That's the only figures you had. And the astronauts came in white, red, and blue. Couldn't do yellow because then you'd be all one color, you know, because they got yellow faces, right? That's same person that picked the colors for the Legos designed the Simpsons characters, all yellow faces. That's all you had at that time. Of course, we're talking mid-'70s. And I had quite a few of them. And but yeah, the stuff now is really pretty expensive. But the thing is, as a kid, I remember it didn't bother me as, well, I wouldn't build things in like whatever color you have. It was like, I was gonna build whatever. It was like, okay, we'll either do black and white or red and yellow. I mean, they have to be like colors. I couldn't just start building something. It's all multiple colors. That would drive me crazy. But one thing that never really bothered me as a kid, or I never really considered it, is when I was building something. You know, the edge of the Legos, of course, they have the little pegs, I guess, prongs. They're not very thin and lanky, so I'll call them pegs, not prongs. You know, every piece has, you know, the typical square has a peg on the top of it. And when you build something, unless you have the smooth pieces that you stick on top of it, it's going to have that, you know, look up and down, up and down, up and down. As an adult now, when I look at something built, my eye goes directly to that, and it's kind of like, it's very distracting. But I do have some Lego things, and it's actually some things that were really cool, and I got them when my daughter was little, and they're out of production now, and it's some Lego board games. And I have 3, I think, and it's like a Dungeons and Dragons type of game, and it's not really a Lego from the standpoint that, you know, you can build different things out of it. It's kind of, you're stuck with it, but it's like a board game that you build. And is it readily accessible? Let's see if it's readily accessible. I have 3 of them, I think. I don't remember what they're called. See if I can pull this out without dropping 10 things. I think it's safe there. I'll pull out the small one. Yeah, I have 3. These are actually out of production now. That's not why I got them. They weren't out of production when I got them, but it's this little board game that they came out called Heroica. And you can see it's like a little, almost like a Dungeons and Dragons, and it comes with a die that it determines, you know, how far you can move and combat, or I forget exactly what it is. But they made, yeah, here's a little display of what it is. And I've got 3 of them. This is one of the expansion things. You got your little characters that have no arms, but they still peg around. It's a cute game. Here's your life. Okay, so here's your 4 things of life, and as you take damage, you discontinue one of those. So these things, I guess, were like, I don't know, maybe they're $12 for this thing or whatever. Buildable game is what it says. Buildable game. So when did this thing come out? 2015, something like that. I don't know. They made like 6 of them or whatever. Yeah, here it is. Oh, I left it built up. Here you go. Little Lego distraction. Hey, you didn't think we were going to talk about Legos today. Here's the little board game. Well, obviously, they move from step to step along here. I guess technically this isn't the steps. You can see here's the tiles where you can move across, and you have a combat die that you roll. This thing rolls, and little life thing, and here's your characters. Got some goblins, which is what these green guys are supposed to be, And a couple of characters. Looks like one of them's a wizard. And the Goblin King. And something else. It comes with instructions. The core game, I think, has like 4 characters, and this is the instructions of how to put it together. Well, luckily it was actually able to leave it connected. Yeah, okay, here you go. Got your heroes, monsters, objects. So, this is just an expansion game, so. And there's rules to get people to, you could play, one person can play the dungeon, or you can do the dungeon moves automatically, or I don't know. It's a cute little game. It's like, what is it, 7 to 7 plus? So I got this several years ago to play with my daughter. Played with it a fair amount, but it's kind of sat unused for a little bit. This is one of the expansions, and I've got one I think that's like a bat cave, and then the core game. So, and they tie into like in different places on the map. So, favorite toy as a kid was an action man with a French Resistance outfit with a beret and an SMG. But was the SMG correct? Or did they give you a wrong SMG? That's stuff that would bug me as a kid. Probably would be a Sten, I would imagine. Sten or a Tommy gun. I guess it could be a captured MP40. Heroica. Yeah. I like the Playmobil stuff too, but that stuff you don't really build anything. I don't know if I had any of it as a kid. We'd go visit other kids, and they always would have Playmobil. Legos, yeah. Yeah, they're expensive. Got to pay those European Union prices. Got to pay for those pensions that they give the people that work for Lego. No? Think we've gotten spoiled buying cheap shit. We don't remember what real stuff buys, because Lego's always been quality stuff, you know. There's a market for retired Lego sets. There is. I don't plan on selling mine though. That's my favorite toy was a Roman Civil War set with red and silver Romans and a warship with battery powered oars. Huh. I have a favorite toy. I remember going to a toy store one time, and they had this big. The movie I watched as a kid so many times, the World War II movie I watched as a kid so many times was Guns of Navarone, and they had a Guns of Navarone playset. Obviously, the only thing in common that the playset had with the movie was that it was on a mountain. That was it. But, you know, it came with a bunch of soldiers, which I guess if you looked at them now, they probably aren't Germans and commandos or anything like that. It was just probably, you know, the green and gray type thing going on. But it had the guns. But I always wanted one of those things. But I don't know. It was like $70 or something. I forget how much it was. It was way too much. I wasn't going to get that. You know, and I remember always wanting that. Well, we would play with our little Airfix guys, or MPC guys as they called them in the States. Because all the Airfix stuff was rebranded for, I forget what MPC stands for. But we'd have that stuff, and we'd build the little models and play around with a SDKFZ 222 or whatever with the Germans and stuff. And I don't remember what we had for the Allies. Never had any Russian figures. Couldn't get them. I don't know if they were. I don't know if they made them. I don't know if MPC made them as Russians. Airfix certainly does. I don't know. I remember maybe I never saw any, but I had Desert Rats and the Africa Corps, and had this little Toyota Jeep, remember the Toyota Jeeps that they used to have in the early 70s? Sahara type vehicles. I used one of those as the Jeep that my Desert Rats would come out of, and just stuff like that. Favorite toys? I don't know that I would have. I can't think of one thing that I really, really liked. Never had any Romans. Never did anything Roman gaming or ancient gaming until DBA in 2004. Just never got into it. Never really watched any ancient Roman movies other than Ben-Hur, the original one. Never watched any movies that had Romans on them. I don't know why. It just seemed like something I wasn't really interested in. But started me on this never-ending history of ancients. You guys have Airfix over the pond when you were kids? We didn't. All of the Airfix stuff was in my town, we didn't have any Airfix. It was all rebranded as a company called MPC. And the interesting thing about MPC is the artwork, and the artwork was different. It wasn't the Airfix artwork rebranded. It was the MPC artwork was awesome looking. I know one of the first kits I got was a Stuka. I always had a thing for Stukas. I just think it's a really cool plane, cool looking plane, wicked cool. I guess would probably be the way to do it, and wouldn't say it, but I had a lot of the MPC kits, which I did not know at the time were basically Airfix kits, just rebranded. I don't know why the hell they rebranded them. It just seems silly, but the artwork was different, but the castings were, the castings, the injection molded was the same. So, the U.S. Army guy shooting into the air. Yep, I remember him. Yes, lots of Airfix. I'd walk downtown a little hobby store and spent 50 cents on a box. The U.S. Army guy shooting into the air, I think, was the set of the Marines. I think it was the U.S. Marines set. There's a place where you can find all that stuff. It's called Plastic Toy Soldier Review. And if you go on there, and I'm warning you, it's a rabbit hole. You may spend half of your day there. But you can sort it's all 1/72nd scale injection molded figures. And you could sort by period, you could sort by manufacturer. And almost all of them will show you exactly what comes in every pack. And it's great for nostalgia. Yep, 20 millimeter plastic soldiers. Yep, 172. I think I forget if they're 172, 176, or they'd go 00 scale also. I guess the 00 scale is that scale never came to the U.S. We had HO, and then it jumped up to. Never saw anything in S. I know it was another scale, but yeah. Plastics Toy Soldier Review. Really neat site. You can go on and see all the old stuff on there. The Africa Corps set. You always had these guys surrendering. Like, the hell's... I mean, the battle hasn't even started, and you already got freaking people surrendering. That's no good. Yeah. The Desert Rat guy with the Bren, who's laying down, he's like prone, but he's kind of on his side, almost like he's trying to sneak forward. I always liked the Africa Corps guy with the potato masher over his head. That guy was cool. But then they didn't have MP40s. They were running those. I think he had a Bergman. He had a submachine gun that had a stock on it. So there was some inaccuracies and weirdisms, as I like to say. And the standard German infantry guy had that officer that was based on Han Solo, or maybe the other way around. Looks exactly like and but their machine gunner guy, he had some made up machine gun that wasn't an MP40. It wasn't a. I remember even as a kid, I was like, we'd make up our own rules. I remember the most coveted figures were the flamethrower figures. You always wanted, as a kid, that was like the coolest weapon. The flamethrower. You can go in and just roast a ton of guys. Good times. Good times. But Airfix also, MPC did not, but Airfix also made them in 1/32nd scale. I didn't have any of those, but they did have, and they were the same poses. And honestly, whoever did a job of sculpting those figures, whoever that unknown soldier that sculpted those figures did a wonderful job. I really brought all that stuff to life. I keep saying that sculptors don't get enough credit because, I'm just painting stuff somebody else made. I mean, I think the sculpting part is that's the impressive part. What color horse are we gonna have? Let's do a really dark brown one. But the sculpting on most of those figures are pretty good. Did those Africa Corps 50mm have shorts on? Someone told me that shorts on active duty was forbidden. I don't know. But what would happen is the Africa Corps was an interesting mix of figures. The Africa Corps figures had figures that I thought were really cool. And then they had figures that were dorky. And I remember like the machine gunner, the guy that carried the MG-34, he had like the ammo pouch in one end, and he had the machine gun in the other, and he was carrying him kind of open like this, and he was wearing shorts with a helmet, but then like the tall socks but shorts, and it just looked really dorky as a kid. The African Corps figures all had the long pants. The shorts just looked weird. I don't know, somehow. I don't know. We have really good elastic on the socks so they could stay up all through a battle. Plastic toy soldier review. Let's go there. Hell with it. Run on this rabbit hole. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at these figures. Now, I know there's a way I can share my screen. I'll be honest. I've tinkered with it and botched it up. So we're going to have to do it old school style. So let's minimize this. Let's minimize this. Let's go here. Oh. So I never claimed I was good with technology. I'm just kind of somehow managing to make some of this work some of the time. Plastic. I think it's Soldier Review. I don't think it's Toy Soldier Review. Plastic Soldier Review. Okay. Oh. Let's see if I could do this correctly. Now, why is it not holding on to it tight there? All right, you insolent bastard. Will you stay there? Oh, because I'll move the computer. Nope. Ah, I love that sound. It's my favorite sound ever. Not. It's the problem with these accessories for your video. You can't go to a store and buy and get the stuff anymore. So you're stuck getting whatever kind of cheap shit comes from China that you end up having to get, unfortunately. Oh yeah, you noisemaker. All right, we gotta. Bear with me a second. Let's do a couple things. Let's put this down. My other favorite sound. All right. Let's put this here. And let's tighten it. Okay. And it's still moving. Why are you moving? Why are you moving? All right. I tightened it, twisting it one more time. There we go. Whew. I told you, this is, you never know what's going to happen here. You might have a drive-by shooting and not even expect it. Not in this neighborhood, but let's hope not. Okay. All right, let's see what we're looking at here. So here you go, up on this end, the manufacturer. So we just come over here and go to Airfix. Actually, I'll come down here and show you what MPC looks like for those of you guys that don't know what's going on here. MPC. This is their little logo here. I don't know if you can see that. And these are the things that they rebranded. And you go over here to German Africa Corps, that's what we're talking about. This is a reissue of Airfix set 01711 in an MPC box. See a review of Africa Corps for decal. So it's literally a link to the Airfix Africa Corps. And here they are. And see this box right here? This looks like crap. Sorry, I probably couldn't paint it myself, but it looks like crap compared to the MPC artwork. And I'll find you some see here it is, HOOO scale. Yeah. So, you know, you had a fair number of figures here, like all these figures up here across the top. Those are pretty good figures. You know, the rifleman. Here's the potato masher guy. I always thought he was pretty cool looking. You know. Had some guys with MG34 and guys here. This is a cool figure as well. Then you got this guy that's like in hand-to-hand combat in the desert, which I always thought, you know, the distances in the desert are really far. How did he get that close? But you know, whatever. You got a guy with an MP. Is this the machine pistol I was talking about? That was weird. Yeah, it's got a stock on it. I guess there is a version of the MP, it might be the 41 or something like that had a stock. But I always thought it was weird, like, really? No MP40, I can get a 41? Like, sculptor issue. The three guys surrendering, those guys are useless. A guy with a shovel, what the hell am I going to do with guys with shovels? You know, at least this guy's in combat. This guy's screwing around with a shovel. Here's the figure I was talking about, the machine gunner. He just looks weird. He's like, okay, he's got a machine gun, cool. He's got an ammo box, cool. What's he doing with those long socks on? Oh, okay, well, whatever. Another guy in close combat, three riflemen, and the figure that we always referred to as Rommel. I don't know, even as kids, we always referred to him as that. So, and of course, their sworn enemies, the desert rats. Where are they? 8th Army Desert Rats, okay. Again, it's a reissue of the Airfix one. Oh, here they have painted. Yeah, again, this officer, that's the cool figure too. He's got one of those revolvers, Webley revolver. Here's the guy trying to shimmy his way with a Bren gun. Guy clearing a minefield. Who cares about that? Now, they did come with a Vickers machine gun, which I always thought was really cool, you know. Yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff. Let's see where the German infantry set, so I can tell. Oh, the guy's shooting up in the air. All right, that should be World War II U.S. Marines. Here he is. You get 4 of those bozos shooting up at zeros or something. You know, you got a little assault boat here. Grease gun. 4 guys with a grease gun, 4 guys with M1 carbine, 4 guys shooting up in the air, 3 guys charging, 2 guys with the machine gun on the ground. Yeah, I had a set of those. And I also had the paratroopers, but the paratroopers came in blue. The U.S. paratroops came in blue, the molding. They didn't come in green. And for some reason, their weapons seem really thin in this set. They're really, really thin. You can even tell they're really thin. Like the barrels and stuff. Yeah. Had those guys. Never had the Russians. See, do they even make Russians? Oh, yeah, they do. I just never saw them in stores. Had a friend of mine that had them. This was always a weird pose. Like, give me 4 guys that have been shot. It's like, cool, I get a guy with a Pepe shot. Yeah, but they're all shot. What? and these definitely not molded to the same caliber of some of the other figures. They're really kind of poor. Mortar. Another guy getting shot. I guess you can't have too many communists getting shot. Happy day. Yeah, the molding's not really great on those guys. I never had them. I never saw them in stores. I would have picked them up. I had the Luftwaffe guys too. Fallschirmjägers. These guys. An injured guy. Like, what am I supposed to do as a kid? You don't want an injured guy. Like, this guy's in close combat and he's using the back of his rifle. Now, here's some guys with some proper MP40s here. Yeah, had those guys. See if I could show you what the MPC German. It'd be nice if I could type. German Afrika Korps. Look at this artwork. This is the cool MPC artwork. That's much better artwork. I know who they hired to paint that stuff, but MPC always had really good artwork. And this is the Airfix. It was always a golden opportunity kit. They would have these little, oh look, it even shows you what's in here. And on the side of the box, there was like these little, vouchers that you could cut out and mail in, and if you got a certain number of them, you'd get like free figures. Yeah, here it is. Tokens, and get a bonus MPC kit free. I actually got several of them. I got 2 or 3 of them. Germany Afrika Korps, MPC, German Infantry was another really cool one, and the Desert Rats one was really cool as well. I don't know why they didn't use the same artwork or why they even rebranded it to begin with. This is the World War I German Infantry. Here we go. Completely different artwork. I guess it's an old eBay listing and it won't show it to me. Yeah. The artwork on this stuff was definitely better. And that's, when you're a kid, you're inspired by stuff like that. Like that guy's got an MP40. Why doesn't none of them in the kit come in? Oh, I guess I never showed you what that was. I was talking about that made-up machine gun. All right, where is modern Soviet World War II German infantry here at the top. Oh, look that's the artwork there. Okay, look at these weirdos. Here's a totally made-up machine gun. This guy right here. Or a machine gun I don't recognize. This guy right up here. Guys throwing grenades are always fun. Oh, one guy does have an MP40. Oh, and this guy too. The coveted flamethrowers. You know, this guy, we always used to joke he was making a farting sound. He's covering his eyes for whatever reason. And there's the Han Solo figure. Yeah. Yeah, I think the sculpting on the Desert Rats and the Africa Corps is probably top notch on them. On those guys, but anyhow. That's a cool website. Plastic Toy Soldier Review. Plastic Soldier Review. Not the toy soldier. They're not toys, damn it. Just because they're fun doesn't mean they're toys. All right. All right, what did I miss here? Guy who does Italian in UK operates out of a garage. Always out of stock. Wow. Now I'm thinking about a whole army's in 20mm soft plastic. MPC. Now, military model something. I don't know. I don't know why they rebranded them, but their artwork was awesome. Man, I loved the aircraft had freaking great artwork too. See if I can real quickly find that Stuka. MPC Stuka model. Yeah, right here. No, I need to get a closer picture than that. I'm sorry, I find artwork inspiring. If it's good, maybe I can't find a bigger picture of that one. Let's see. No. Can't get it bigger than that. That's back when you 1982, released in 1982. Yeah, that was back when they'd have swastikas on a decal and nobody would think twice about it, you know. We weren't trying to be Nazis, we were just trying to build an accurate model, you know. You know, I'll only put crooked spiders on things if that's what they had. Anyhow, good times. Okay, well that was a nice little sidetrack. I don't mind doing that. First model kit I ever built on myself was I want to say it was a monogram, snap tight, P40 Warhawk with the tiger shark mouth. And of course, I was a kid. I didn't paint it or anything. I remember struggling with those decals. Man, those type of decals are so easy compared to Little Big Man Studios and stuff like that. Those water slide decals, piece of cake. Piece of cake. Oh. And then I started painting stuff. The first thing I ever painted was an MPC kit, but of course it was an Airfix kit of the Bismarck. And I've told this story before. I didn't have any paints. The only paints that I had access to was I'd gotten a paint by number set for one of my birthdays. Those things were big in late 70s and early 80s to give to people. You know, a little paint by number set. And they're always oil, you know. But they came in these little snap cap type things. Not too unlike this, but much smaller and much more primitive. And you'd get, I don't know, 12 different colors or whatever. And they ended up painting the deck on that. I was fine with the Bismarck being molded in gray, but the deck needed to be a deck color, so I'd gotten a color that was probably not too dissimilar to this, and went about painting the deck with whatever kind of piece of shit brushes I had, which would have been whatever came in the paint by number set. And I remember it took 3 weeks for it to dry. I had to put it in my closet, and like, is it still, no, can't play with it yet. Still have to, you know, still have for it to dry. So I maybe painted a couple things in black as well, but that was it. That was my first painting job, and, you know, using oil paints that took 3 weeks to dry on a plastic thing. I mean, I imagine they probably dry quicker on a canvas, but that was, maybe it was only 2 weeks. It took a long ass freaking time, though. Long ass time. And I had several of those. I had the 1/600 scale Bismarck, and the Prinz Eugen, and the Repulse, and Ajax. I don't think I had the Exeter. I had Graf Spee. You know, back in those days, you had to buy whatever they had in the store. So if they didn't have it in the store, you weren't going to buy it. Not now, where you can like, well, I can get anything from anywhere. Built lots of planes, Spitfires, 109s. I don't think I ever built a P-51. Spitfires and Stukas, yeah. Yeah, I had them hanging from my roof. Spitfire was always chasing a Stuka. The last moments of the Stuka. Yeah, Stuka's a cool plane until you're in an air fight, and then you're like, whoops. Not so fast now, are you? Well, I feel like I need to do his shirt like in a red or something like that, just for variety. So let's just do that. Never got into the Pacific War stuff. I just didn't. Just never really interested me. Still to this day doesn't interest me. The Golden Hind, too. That was, that Henry VIII ship? Am I thinking of a different one? This was like Revenge or something like that. I don't know. Never got into sailing ships. I just feel like they all look the same. And they kind of do, you know. I had a friend of mine who was really into sailing ship games. And he couldn't find one that was his cup of tea. So he made a game up, and it was pretty complicated. And we're getting ready to play it. And we're all going to be like, okay, we're all going to show up and bring a 1/2400 scale ship from, well, actually, they're 1/1200 from GHQ. So I built this 74 gun ship of the line. Spent an all-nighter putting it together, stringing it up and everything. Like over 20 hours painting it. It was a long time. It was probably the longest time I've ever spent on something about that time. This is probably in mid-90s. And 97 or something like that. 97, 98. And absolutely hated the game. Absolutely hated it. It was one of those that, you know, you started here, you tried to do some maneuver, the other guy did some kind of maneuver, and you went into arc and out of arc in the same turn. Now you couldn't shoot again, but somehow you could shoot at you, and, you know, because you shoot at the end of your turn. So if you're not in position where you need to be, then you need to maneuver in that, and it could be a time where, you know, there's no opportunity fire. So if you move in a place where you were within arc during your turn, but at the end you're not again, then you don't get to shoot. And it was just one of those, you know, annoying games that, but never really got into the sailing ships because they all look the same to me. When you start looking at that time period, it's like, you know, I mean, yes, a 32 gun looks different than a 74, but a French 74 as opposed to a British 74, they all look the same, and not really my cup of tea. But that's why they make different periods and scales and stuff to appeal to different people. White dry out again? Boys, incorrigible. Okay. How we doing on liquids? Still some. Rigging was a nightmare. Oh yeah, no kidding. Doing knots. Knots is pretty close to the top of the list of things I'm not good at. Maybe I haven't been taught properly. Or I don't care enough to do them, or maybe a little of both, or a lot of both. Alright, we were going to do a dark brown horse before we went down the rabbit hole of plastics, toy soldiers. And I still have them. I still have them somewhere. I don't know exactly where they're at. As a matter of fact, the German mountain troops, 172nd scale, or actually they're 176, whatever. German mountain troops had a little horse that came with a couple little boxes that go on the side, and this is one of them. This is my first camp I ever built for my feudal Spanish, and that's the box from the Airfix German mountain set troops right there. It's been sitting there all along. Yeah, that's the only one of all those figures I ever painted was this box. I'll be honest with you, I'm scared of painting plastic. I'm scared of painting it and then it flaking off. So I'm not a fan of it. German mountain troops, yeah. Had those guys too. Guys with skis. What the hell am I supposed to do with guys with skis? And I had some of the Italieri kits, and I never liked the molding on the Italieri. I just thought they were very necky. Their necks were too prominent. I was like, they have these abnormal looking individuals, and everybody in the army looks like that. Like, what's in the water? What are you guys drinking in your canteen? And there was a French company called Atlantic, and their stuff looked really weird. Really, really weird. Weird in the standpoint of, people don't look like that. Maybe they do in France, but, You can find all that stuff on that Plastic Soldier review. All those old kits, doesn't matter how old or out of production it is, they're on there. They're there. I'm afraid I'm going to need more brown than that. We need a bigger brown out. I gotta watch this foot. I was at the office yesterday. I was holding my right foot at a weird angle, like almost like instead of like this, have it like this and like twisted. I got home and my foot was hurting. I'm injuring myself just by sitting there. All right. Let's paint the horsey. Can't put it off any longer. Shopping on the Saturday before Christmas. Oh joy. Okay. Well, good luck to you. Could be worse. You could be at work. I don't mind shopping. I just mind trying to find stuff. Or trying to buy something you don't know what to buy. You prefer work. I don't mind work. I don't like the conditions I have to work under. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I don't mind the actual work. It's the being rushed and interrupted, and being lied to. Working on stuff on the critical path and something decides to mess that up. I'd rather go shopping. But work pays better than shopping. Okay, John. We'll see you maybe tomorrow morning. We'll be back at it. Now, why did your comment get banned? Shopping is work that you pay for instead of getting paid. That's right. Good morning to you, Chris. I don't know why I decided to review that. Maybe because you put that little funny face on there. I like that funny face. You know what I like to do? I like to try to figure out what if I'm gonna do some shopping, try to figure out something and then just never put it in my cart and then just never purchase it. There's no cost for that. I know the shopping's got to be died down quite a bit. I mean, the internet's got to be putting a dent on that big time. I mean, I don't enjoy going to stores anymore. You know, going somewhere, asking somebody where something is. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. I mean, I worked in retail as a young adult. You know, you didn't know something, you went to go find it. Not people now just don't care. They go back to surfing on their phone, and they get paid. I don't know, 15 times more. We got paid not 15 times more, but 6 times more, 7 times more. Welcome. Uh-oh. Let's see how we say this one. Enkinaru. Welcome. I think I said that right. I tried to say it right. Yeah, I don't like going to stores. Well, it's like a catch-22, you know. People don't go to stores as much, so they don't have inventory. So you go to a store and you can't find what you need, so you have to mail order. It's like a catch-22. You know, I don't mail order something because I get a better price on it. I mean, if you're talking about stuff that's, $20, $30 stuff, I mean, you're not talking about something that's really expensive. Yeah, I'll buy it in the store, but if it doesn't have it in the store, what are you supposed to do? The last thing I remember I guess it was a couple of years ago now, but I wanted to get a microphone for my phone. So I go to Best Buy, a store that I used to like to go to see what microphones they had there. They had one. It was their brand, which was, made in People's Republic of, where. And it was a piece of crap microphone that they wanted like $60 for. It was I think it was whatever their brand is. I forget. Is it Insignia? I forget what it is. But they only had one to choose from, and it was a bottom tier one that cost 5 times more. You can get it on the internet. So it's like I didn't buy it there. You do 90% of my shopping online. The rest is a grocery store. I'm with you, Chris. I'm with you. Yeah. It's completely right. Finally managed to be online for translation. Awesome. Good. I'm glad I got it right. Anikaru. Enkinaru. It's just so far away I could barely see it. Unfortunately, I can't read those comments. Wish I could read them a little bit better. That's why I got to take my glasses off to read them. Yeah, I want to get the names right. Some people don't care. I care. Yeah, groceries. I had one guy a while ago that was trying to convince me he was in some kind of pyramid scheme, and this was probably, this was every bit of 20 years ago. 20 years ago, 17 years ago, something like that. I think I'd just gotten married, so we'll call it 19 years ago. And he was convinced me that, oh yeah, you need to order all your groceries online. They get delivered by UPS, and I'm like, what? No, we'll go to the store for the groceries. So, or if it gets really restrictive, like it did a year and a half ago or whatever, and they wanted you to wear a hazmat suit to go to the grocery store, we just had them shipped. I don't want to deal with that nonsense. You gotta wear a hazmat suit going in the grocery store. Somebody else can go for me then. I don't need it that bad. I guess the fan's drying all these colors out. Oh well, I can't paint without the fan. That's in my contract. Does not paint without fan. I've had a couple times where I've ordered something and they'll say, do you want it delivered the same day? And I'm like, what? And I don't really have anything bad to say about Amazon. My only gripe about Amazon is I wish it would tell you where some of the stuff comes from. You got to do a little bit of legwork to figure out if there's maybe some place you don't want your things to come from. Hint, hint. You've got to do a little bit of research. But other than that, I got no problems with Amazon. They deliver things when they say they're going to, or earlier. It's like crazy. It's like it's supposed to be here in 2 days, and it shows up the next day. It's like, and you don't waste time going from store to store. Resources and time going from store to store trying to find the item, asking people that don't have a clue where it is. Just go online and get it. It sucks because you need storefronts. People live on that, but if they don't step up to the plate and it's something you need to get, then you will find a way. The market will find a way. You probably said before, but what's next after the relay? I don't know. I don't think I've said it before. I mean, I've got some choices. I've got let's see. I keep saying the pre-feudal Scots. Pre-feudal Scots are going to get here at some point. I got all the figures for them. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I really don't, but at the rate I'm going, it's going to be a while because I just haven't had much painting time. I'm kind of hooked on doing the unusual, crappier armies, so to speak. So I would call this a crappy army. You know, it's not like they're going to show up and they're going to dominate everything. I don't know. I've pre-feudal Scots. I've entertained doing Granada. I've got a fair amount of the troops for Granada. That's a light army. I'm enjoying doing the armies that I can use in a lot of different type of competitions, whether it's Wimp Wars and stuff like that. You know, you can bulk them down and bulk them up type things. So. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know I'm going to need to do some Polish allies for this army. So a couple stands of later Poles are definitely in the mix. And they can also have Hungarian allies, which I already have the Hungarians, so that's not really a problem. But I haven't given it much thought. But there's... Yeah, I really don't know. I don't want to daydream about it too much, and the next thing you know, I'll be like interested in looking through all that stuff. You know, which is, of course, a rabbit hole. There you are, Patriot Wargaming Solutions. Welcome back. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Same to you, Mr. Patriot. Yeah, I've been here, just haven't had much painting time. It's been way too busy. I can't paint in the mornings. I go to work. I've been trying to go to the gym every night as a family. That's good for us. And then I've just honestly been spent after that. You know, I've been going to bed in the 9s, somewhere between 9 and 10, and just doing it all over again. And if I'm out of town over the weekend, there's no painting there in that time. So that's pretty much it. The same old, waiting for work to slow down a little bit to catch up. Game nights have been damn near impossible, so I'm off on days they're not available, and they're available on days that are my busiest day of the week. So, could I have showed up? Yes. What time would I have gotten there? An hour and a half later than normal, which is too late to get started on that. So. Luckily, I'm not upset about it. You know, it's not like, oh man, I'm dying to game. I'm okay. It's not like I'm super excited about playing with anything I already have. You know, it's not like these guys are done and I'm just waiting to throw down some games with them. And then in a week, I'll be out for another week, surrounded by salt water. You don't go back to work until the 3rd of January. I don't go back until the 4th, but that's through the 23rd, so I've got a short week next week. I got one day, Monday. Monday's going to be my hell day. So, hell day's always on Monday, seems like, so. The Monday gaming is on hold for the time being for an undeterminate amount of time. So, just needs to find some gaming people that work Monday through Friday and are off on the weekends, not the other way around. Mondays have just been stupid. So, yeah, I'll be off from the 24th until the 4th, so that's a long time. Looking forward. It's been like 3 years we haven't been on a cruise, so definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully there won't be any surprises. Definitely better than gaming. Cruising is definitely better than gaming. Big fan. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. I'm hoping. I keep hopping from project to project. Have about 6 going. I can't seem to get them done. Yeah, I can't do that. I'd love to hop around, but that does not work for me. Sent me a pic of my wife's anniversary gift, Napoleonic in nature, 28 years. Uh-oh. Hope she doesn't leave you because of that. You got me what? That's it. No more Shakos. I'll check it out. It's a dress-up outfit, so she could dress up like she's in the young guard, huh? Or the old guard, or whatever. Complete with a fake mustache. You Napoleonic guys, you just kind of play, or I don't know. Maybe it's just me being American. We always have to break everything into good guys and bad guys. Maybe it's what it is. You guys view the French as the bad guys? I don't. I just kind of play it. You know, when I play Napoleonic, I don't think there's a right or wrong side in that one. Karas helmet. Haha. I'm a bit jealous you could focus on something singular. Just keep starting new projects and having zero time to complete everything. So that's what would happen to me. We're the old guard. That's what used to happen to me when I used to do plastic scale models. I would start something and then I would run into some kind of a hiccup like, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. So then I would get another kit and then I didn't finish any of them. And it's extremely frustrating. I don't want to do that. And doing this stuff like this, like painting live, keeps me more focused. Like, you know, I kind of have to answer to somebody, so to speak. You know, I can't just flounder about, or I won't get anything done, you know. But I've done that before. Look, here's a light horse guy from my Muslim Indian army that I got one figure in, and then went, oh, shiny, got into something else. So whenever I get back to painting book 436B, I already have one figure done. And that was probably done, hell, I don't know, 6 years ago, probably. You don't see war games as good versus bad. I don't know. I don't know about the Napoleonic period. I don't think there's a one side versus the other. I used to play, when I did World War II, it was always did a lot of Eastern Front. So it's like, which bad guy do you want to be? Yes. Which bad guy do you want to be? Oh, we're having a drying issue here. We're gonna put some more water in this. I'll be right back. Okay. Drying out for a little bit. Merry Christmas, Tony. Have a great cruise. See you in the new year. Okay, you too, Imperator. Maybe I'll decide. Oh, just went to Mexico recently. I came really close to ordering something while I was over there, but I didn't. And I'll tell you what the determining factor was, is that I couldn't find a cool camp. I figured I would go over there and I'd find some kind of a cool pyramid and order the native troops for my conquistadors, which I have the conquistador figures, and I really like them. They're really, really cool. I just don't have the native allies, which I would have used the Black Hat or whoever. I think they're back to being called Gladiator. And I put them all in my cart and never pulled the trigger on them. Which is fine. I don't need more things to paint, but yeah, there weren't any cool pyramid miniatures or something like that. Yes, I can order them online, but the whole point was to get something that while I was there, and it just never materialized, and it's probably a good thing. But yeah, came close to doing that, but didn't. I got pretty good discipline when it comes to that. Because I've bought a lot of stuff in the past and done nothing with it. So that's really unsatisfying. You know, I'm not being stingy. It's just wasteful to buy stuff and not do anything with it. I've done it plenty before. I feel like I get better at that every day. I need something, I'll go get it. I think probably the one where I lose the most control is if I go to, say, someplace like Historicon and somebody's selling something like really, really cheap that I could possibly use in the future. And then it may be like, okay, well, I'm not leaving this for $1 a pack or whatever. That's what happened to. I picked up some Byzantines because they were like $1 a pack. I'm like, well, it's not something I'm gonna dislike building, so I don't know when I'm gonna get around to them or if I will. But for $1 a pack, I'm taking these 11 packs with me, or 12, or whatever the hell it was. But short of that, those 25% sales and stuff that Essex does, 25, 30%. That's not tempting. That's not for me. That's not geared towards me. No appeal there. If it's something that I need, yeah, I'll go get it. I don't even care if it's on sale, but I'm not really tempted by sales on stuff that is something I'm not really in the need for or going to use anytime soon. I just have too much of a backlog. Oh, I guess I could watch. I guess I could look at the picture here that you sent me. Let's see. Oh, she got you this. Got it. Oh, that is cool. Everybody likes Karas. I like the color wall. We used to have bright colors in our house, but yeah, I like the color wall. That looks nice. Everybody likes Karas. Nice. I thought you had gotten that for her. I'm like, okay. That is pretty cool. I, for one, am always gravitate towards the side that has the coolest armor or uniforms or anything like that, Definitely eye-catching. Well, we have a couple of... we're going to have to get a yellow in here. We're going to use a yellow blanket on the bottom, so it'll pop up against the dark horse. That's the idea. We'll use this yellow for that. Where's my needles? There they are. Yeah, I like gaming. Anything that's better than gaming is cruising. We're going with another couple that have never cruised before, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. And I lose weight when I'm on a cruise. Because, you know, food's available all the time, so why overeat, right? It's not like, well, if I don't eat now, I can't have another meal for 6 hours. Bull crap, go have another meal in 15 minutes. So you just end up having a bunch of small meals, which is better for you. Stuff you don't do when you're not on a cruise. I don't lose a lot of weight. I lose like 2 pounds or something like that, but over a week. Yeah, it's the world trying to tell me I should just stay on a cruise ship. Be kind of hard to paint on a cruise ship. I guess you can get it into flow, but not too excited about it at this point. Try not to get too excited about things too far in advance. Have the rug pulled out in front of me. That happens a lot at my job, so I kind of always have that in the back of my mind. Is I have trouble unclenching sometimes because there's just too many things that you think are going to go a certain way and they end up going in a different direction. And it just happens constantly what I do at work that I've just been traumatized by it, so to speak. And try not to get my hopes up too much. Like when I go to Historicon, for instance, I don't get excited until I'm actually in the vehicle going there, you know, or get there. Then you could kind of unclench a little bit. Let's use another similar. I guess we could use this cover as one. It just happens too many. It just happens too many times. It happens multiple times a day at work, every day. So that's my PTSD from work. Okay. Where'd we put this orangish brown type color? Which I didn't even know. I didn't even notice what it was called. Oh, it's super watery. All right. No problem. No problem at all. This is the 4th figure? Yeah. Well, at some point, I'm going to have to decide what the hell I'm going to do with these shields. I'm sure I'll make the right decision when the time comes. But we're not going to start working on other figures until the Light Horse are done, because I do want to see how they look like based. We got this new basing material to use on that, and a couple little tricks up our sleeve we're going to try doing on the basing and see how that works out. And yeah, real curious to see how that's going to play out. So we don't want to get off in too much of a different direction before we come back to that. Whew. All right. And let's go ahead and do the strappings on the horse. Do we still have that color alive here? We do. It's right here. Let's I'm gonna need to get a beverage though. Be right back. Supposed to be a rainy ass day today. Sure looks like it. Good day to stay indoors then. Okay, well. Got some folks here finally. Welcome. Looks like I got started on this and never finished it. The order I do things isn't really that critical. I can pretty much reach anything I miss, so I'm not hung up on having to paint inside out or anything like that. sure that what little bit of silver that I had up here is long gone. I may never even put it on here. I'm going to just gotten it straight from the cap, which I think we'll do that as well, because we're not going to need any for a little bit. There's no point in putting a bunch of it out here and then never using it. All right. Now we'll do those strappings that we talked about, the harnesses. I do a pretty good job of not getting sidetracked, at least while I'm doing this, because working on other projects, because then you just don't have anything to show for it. Which is why I'm a fan of painting one figure at a time, because the less figures you paint, the less likely you'll have a rest spot, like you've finished a figure, you've done this, or not painting 24 figures and what'd you do today? Oh, I painted just hands. You know, that's not very satisfying, and I do it for myself just to keep going so I don't burn out and just go, well, I've been painting all day and don't have anything to show for it, kind of thing. So method doesn't work necessarily for everybody, but that's the one that seems to work the best for me. Well, we never painted his boots. Well, we'll have to wait a little bit. We're going to do his flesh next. Well, that's the wrong place for that. It's the usual suspect of colors. The last two poses are yeah, another one of these in this weird pose, just with a different hat. another guy with an actual saber out. So we're gonna go till 8 o'clock, so another 8 minutes or so, and then we'll call it a wrap. And some other stuff I want to get done today. And we'll be back on tomorrow morning. That's at least the plan. One of the few days I can pretty much dictate how things are going to go is weekend mornings. As long as we're not traveling anywhere. Pretty much guarantee to have a couple hours painting to myself. I need a break now. We're cut off another 6 minutes early. But here, what? A little over 2 hours, so yeah. We're getting there. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, folks, this morning. Hope you have the rest of a good Saturday, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for sure. And do a little bit more painting. Thanks for stopping by, and enjoy your Saturday. See you later, folks. Bye-bye.